All right, welcome all. Thank you so much for coming. The time is 6:30. This is the July 8th, 2025 meeting of the License and Ordinance Committee. Members present, myself, Kim Madden, District 2, Charles Myers, and David Lorman. We do have a quorum. Any citizens present who would like to make comments this evening? I don't see any online that aren't here specifically for an agenda item. Does anyone else?
I don't see anything in the chat, but just for the minutes, there are two people on the call. If I can just ask to identify themselves. Looks like there's Corey with Corey's iPhone.
Yes, hi. I'm Corey Everts, General Counsel for Electronic Theater Controls, just attending for our item on the agenda tonight.
Corey, can you just spell your last name for me?
Yes, it's Everts, Everts.
Thank you. And then there's Christy.
Yep, my name is Christy Vitens. I'm also with ETC. I'm the Events and Amenities Manager here, so same item as Corey.
Excellent. And I show someone with a Samsung SM. If you could identify yourself.
I don't know.
Do you have mine? This is
Mike. I'll get you, Michael.
Okay.
Monique Covarrubias.
Oh. Monique, just spell your last name for me.
Covarrubias.
Excellent. Thank you. I see Adam, Michael, we already talked about. I think I have everyone else.
All right, excellent. Do members present have any changes they would like to make to the minutes of our 6/10/2025 meeting? Hearing none, I'll accept the minutes as published. Moving on to the first item of our agenda, licenses and permits. Item number 1, we have an application for an expanded premise by Michael Klinkhammer for Capital Ice Arena at 2616 Pleasant View Road from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. August 22nd through the 24th of this year.
Looks like we do have Michael here. This is a repeat event that I believe the inaugural was last year. So I think the long and short of it is an outdoor tournament and then expanding their premise. They already do sell alcohol there out into the front of the business. I believe there's a map diagram in the packet as well to kind of outline that area of the expanded premise. And Michael, feel free to fill us in if I'm missing anything.
Nope. Same as last year. It went very well. At the most, in the front of the building while the tournament was going on, we maybe had between 50 and 60 people outside at one time. It was never really any more than that, but for the first year, it went very well, and it's just basically the same as this year. Same fencing, same area outside, things like that. So.
And no concerns, Tyler, from the PD side of things?
We had no issues with it last year. No, my only concern is just timing with Good Neighbor Fest. Should this be a large event or take off? I just wouldn't want our resources spread too thin. But given the size of it and what they've had and what they're aiming for, no, I don't have any concern.
Yep, and as far as the size of the tournament, it's about the same. It won't, as far as the number of teams, it's not really going to go up because we only have a certain amount of ice time and a certain amount of time that we do it during the day. I know it says 10 p.m., but last year I think we were done both Friday and Saturday night by 6, 7 o'clock, and we were done pretty early on Sunday as well. I think that was until like noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday if I remember correctly last year. So that was just an extended time just in case, but the amount of teams that are coming in isn't any different than what it was last year.
All right, excellent. Do we have a motion?
Myers, I'll move approval of the application for expanded premise.
Lorman, I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, motion carries unanimously. Item number 2, an application for an outdoor amplified sound permit by Jonathan Salisbury for Monk's Bar and Grill, 8313 Murphy Drive, for a band between 5:30 and 8 p.m. on August 16th, 2025.
Again, just for that specific date, that sounds like a 1 or 2 piece band. Inside is all they're planning. No extreme crowd or anything expected, but just given commercial enterprise, it does require license and ordinance approval. No concerns or issues from the police department.
Okay. Are they going to hold, is it indoors or on their patio?
I'm not sure exactly where the musicians are, but I believe they may be
Okay.
opening the patio, but it's not an expansion of anything
Okay.
that's going on. But yes, it may be on the patio.
All right. Other members, questions or concerns?
None.
Great. Do I have a motion?
Sir, Lauren will make a motion for the application, approval for the application outdoor amplified sound permit.
Myers, I'll second.
Wonderful. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 3, Taqueria Jalisco, DBA, requesting a Class B fermented malt beverage and Class B intoxicating liquor license located at 2606 Allen Boulevard with Monique. Oh, I'm going to butcher that pronunciation, so I don't think I'll try it. Sorry, Monique. Who 5120 Concord Drive in Middleton as the agent.
Right, and I don't see Lori Burns on the call, at least as of yet. She was going to join us for some additional info, but this is the same location that was previously Taqueria Gonzalez some time ago. But she's been working with the owners to kind of get things sorted out and make sure that we have the proper business name and proper license. So this is a same location, but different business name that was bought out. So kind of catching some of the paperwork up with the way things are at that address. On background check for the applicant, did note some issues, however, sort of a clean bill of health for the last 10 years. There are multiple OWI offenses. I did consult with Attorney Fleming just to get his opinion on that as well, but it doesn't look like anything is fitting within the guidance that would be of disqualifying in nature. I can give more of a summary on that if you are curious, but again, the last convicted offense is 2015, and I'm not aware of any outstanding.
Okay, thank you for that.
It
So
should
it's
also
basically
mention that relates to a 15% owner. That does not relate to the agent in charge of the license. Now, for all LLCs, all owners, members, and managers need to comply with all the qualifications, but this is still not the agent that had these problems. It's a 15% owner.
Yes, thank you for the clarification. I'm talking about Edgar with the same last name that is in the packet, but not Monique.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for that clarification. I appreciate that. Any other questions or concerns?
Just a question. So in an application like this is not, and I'm just, learning the process here. Like in previous L&O meetings, I guess there are people who come before L&O to actually apply to be a liquor server. Does that apply to something like this, or is it a different kind of classification? So do individuals serving liquor at the business have to have levels of compliance?
Well, if at all times there needs to be a licensed operator. However, if you are the agent of the alcohol license holder, that qualifies as being an operator. Not everybody serving needs to have an operator's license, but there always must be either somebody who has responsibility under the alcohol license itself or a licensed operator. So
on site.
Correct. And
Gotcha.
supervising. Correct.
Supervising. Okay.
And just to clarify, this is for the license for the business itself. So the liquor license for Taqueria Jalisco, not specific to an operator necessarily.
Charles,
Okay.
you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Tyler, just to confirm, there have been no subsequent convictions for related offenses within the past 10 years for this minority owner, correct?
That is correct. I'm showing 4 previous OWI convictions, but again, the most recent was 2015.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Nope.
All right. Do I have a motion?
I guess Larman will make that motion for the approval of the Class B fermented malt beverage license for Taqueria Jalisco.
Myers will second.
Is that actually they're applying for a combination, Class B fermented malt beverage and intoxicating liquor? Is that your motion include the?
Yes.
Yeah.
My motion includes the language as described in item number 3.
My second was under the assumption that Dave had included all of that language. So,
All right. Then we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll move on to item number 4, which is an application for an outdoor amplified sound permit by Matt Holfeld for Capital Flight, 8264 Airport Road in Middleton for band, speeches, announcements between 4 and 9 p.m. July 17th of 2025 for a private client barbecue and party for Crownstone Wealth Management.
Larman will make that motion for the approval of the item number 4 as language stated for application for an outdoor amplified sound permit by Matt Holfeld.
Myers will second.
All right. This is a different kind of, or is this a different kind of event than is typically happening at the airport? I don't remember seeing a permit like this come through L&O, but I could be misremembering as well.
Can I speak on that by chance?
Yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead, Chad.
I'm Shelley Gallagher with Capital Flight. This is a different event. We've always held Rock the Ramp, as you guys know, on that Friday after. And Ben Plucker has always used that event for all of his clients to be able to come in for their personal party. Since we weren't having Rock the Ramp this year, they asked if they could rent out the hangar for their private event.
I see. Thank you for that.
Yep.
How many people do you expect to attend, Shelley?
He invited 200 people.
Okay. And the hangar has sufficient facilities for that
Yes,
number?
we have porta potties coming in, the normal thing that we would do based upon the individuals coming, since we only have one restroom.
All right, fantastic. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Tyler, no concerns on your end?
Nope.
Great. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. All those in favor indicate please by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. Motion carries. We will move on to item number 5 on the agenda, which is an application for a special event permit by the National Mustard Museum. Trying to avoid National Mustard Day on August 2nd on Hubbard Avenue, and we might as well bundle in item 6 with that as well, which is an outdoor amplified sound permit by the same person and for the same event between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. on August 2nd for National Mustard Day.
And item 7 is also related to that, temp B for the same event.
It is, and it's okay to put that with the 2. I
Yes,
mean, I'm fine moving all 3 together. Okay. Then also item number 7, the application for a temporary Class B retailer's license to sell beer by the National Mustard Museum. Chris Young, president, again for August. This says August 3rd on the agenda, but it's actually the 2nd. That's correct. Like my item number says the 3rd, but
yes,
the license is for the 2nd.
That is my mistake. Yes, August 2nd. Sorry about that.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. I figured as much, but
Yeah, so obviously an annual event. Event plans are similar to last year with a few slight modifications to the event layout. The same street closure and looking to serve beer again. Last year was the first year they served beer. And the only other kind of new item for this event is they are looking to bring in an inflatable pitching game. The theme of this year's event is put some mustard on it. And so that would be the only kind of proposal that, I mean, typically the city hasn't allowed inflatables in public spaces, mainly parks, I guess. That's kind of a rule that they've had. But I know Matt Fleming has looked at it and kind of come up with some conditions. And let me see if I have them here.
Yeah, so we've in the past required increased insurance requirements for like bounce houses, but that's actually in our ordinance. This is a little different because nobody's inside the thing. So the risks, no one's going to blow away with it. That's not to say that there's not a risk of it blowing away, but the overall potential damage is not nearly that great. My thoughts were that we should probably put some conditions with the permit that says that either, the setup either needs to be done by a professional or at least in accordance with the manufacturer's guidance to make sure it's properly anchored down so it won't blow away. And then also that there should be somebody constantly monitoring it to make sure that people are playing the game properly, not standing from 40 yards away trying to hit a thing or, having people cross through just so it's being operated safely. But otherwise, I don't think any other extraordinary things probably need to be addressed.
Yeah, and regarding the inflatable, thanks, Anna, for that. I did hear back from the organizer today. She was looking to be on the call, but it doesn't look like she made it. She did let me know that it's being rented by Fun Time Bounces. They are the ones that will be setting it up, and they will have volunteers over the age of 18 constantly manning the game and others around it. So.
is that really the only substantive change to the event?
Well, we have also, I think in the last year, they only use cones to block off the senior center driveway, and that will now be blocked off with a barricade. That's the only other, I think, element that has been altered.
Awesome, thank you. Charles, go ahead.
Matt, are you satisfied with what was described?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're okay, Tyler? As far as the
Yeah.
workload and issues?
In reviewing it, I had made the recommendation for the barricades instead of just cones, just to make it abundantly clear to drivers that road is closed and they aren't to be driving on it. Well, also just given the crowd size of this one and that there is alcohol, in the past we have had police staff it, we've not, but I made the recommendation this year that we have at least one officer staff there, which I believe the organizers were amenable, Laura.
Yes, correct.
So we will have an officer there staffing that, given that it's a significant thoroughfare that's being closed and just given the size of the event.
Awesome, thank you so much. Any other questions or concerns anyone cares to raise?
Did the city purchase those movable barricade systems that I think we talked about on a previous budget cycle a while back? Or is that to be determined down the road?
It's definitely a down the road, very large project, and our
Okay.
chief has informed me he wants to kind of take the lead, but given multiple departments and things and change of department heads, I don't expect any movement on that quickly. I think at best it would be a capital budget proposal for this upcoming year.
Okay. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fantastic. Do we have a motion on items number 5, 6, and 7?
Sure. Lorman will make a motion that we approve items 5, 6, 7 as listed, with the exception of item number 7 and changing the date from August 3rd to August 2nd.
I will second the motion to approve items 5 through 7 with the date correctly being August 2nd in item 7.
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries unanimously. Item number 8 and 9, we can put those two together. This is an application for a special event permit by Electronic Theater Controls, Evan Nordgren, for their summer picnic on August 2nd at their headquarters. And also an application for an outdoor amplified sound permit by that same person for that same event for a band, DJ, sound system, and announcements between 10 o'clock in the morning and 11:45 that evening, again, August 2nd.
If I may, so again, my name is Corey Everts, General Counsel with Electronic Theater Controls. So just a little bit of background. This year's ETC's 50th birthday or anniversary, however you want to say it. In years leading up to COVID, we used to have employee picnics during the summertime pretty regularly, if not annually. Those stopped during COVID and for a few years after. Now we are looking to bring back that event. So the scope might be a little bigger this year due to the presence of the fireworks. And we are bringing in a band that I can't name yet at this point as part of this event. We don't anticipate that the noise will take up the entire time that we have allotted. It certainly won't start at 10 a.m. We're thinking there may be some sound check for the employee talent acts that will be performing and also the band as well. It won't go until 11:45. That I believe was a mistake. The picnic should wrap up around 9:45 when we have fireworks, which will be happening on our property as well.
Did I hear right, Corey? So you're expecting everything to conclude by 9:45?
Yeah, 9:45, 10 o'clock thereabouts. I'm assuming there will be some stragglers leaving, but yeah, it shouldn't go past, I'd say 9:45, 10-ish. We are cognizant of the apartments and the homes in the neighborhood, and we want to be respectful of those folks. So we will certainly do our best to wrap it up sooner rather than later.
I think when we put through the application, we put that the fireworks were going to be at 9:45. We actually talked to the fireworks company and they said that they could do it as early as 9. So we're actually starting at 9:15. So we're starting a little bit earlier. They said 10 to 15 minutes. So we're just giving a little bit of leeway just in case things go a little longer than expected.
So to confirm, if we issued a sound permit, it could end at 9:45, or do you think?
Let's say 10, just to give us a few minutes of wiggle room there.
Okay. Because yeah, that application's at 11:45, but we can.
Yeah, we won't be here at 11:45 right. If we have to start that early. I can tell you that. So. Yeah.
And I will just note that Chief Harris has already reviewed the fireworks application and provided his approval.
Excellent. Thank you. That was my next question. So that's perfect.
And there hasn't been any comments, questions or concerns from the town of Middleton. They've objected to the city hosting fireworks events in the past for other groups and things like that.
I'm not sure anyone at the town is aware. We may want to reach out just to make them aware. I can say that fireworks at odd times like this, not orchestrated with like a 4th of July event, do tend to elicit many calls to our 911 center. I've made sure that our staff is well aware that this will be happening that day and that we have appropriate staffing there to man the lines as they come in. But I think the fortunate part about this location is that there isn't a ton of residents directly adjacent. Obviously, you have, as mentioned, condos right across the way and such, but the police department itself does not have any significant concern.
Mhm. Yeah, and there wouldn't be anything falling out into the retention ponds and conservancy area just to the east of ETC. It's going to be over their parking lot.
It is in the back of the building, so it will be falling on our property. We did ask to just close the walking path for the 10 minutes during the fireworks, just in case something were to happen. But we have had fireworks in this location in the past. We had fireworks 9 years ago. For our, or yeah, 10 years ago for our 40th. So it's not the first time that we've had fireworks in that location on our property.
And that location is not close to those retention ponds.
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
Dad.
Tyler, you'll notify the town.
Yeah, I can chat with Laura. One of us can follow up just to make sure there's some notification there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, then do we go ahead?
I'm sorry for cutting you off. I was gonna
No.
approve the permits included in agenda items 9 and 10.
8 and 9.
Oh, excuse me. Yes, you're right. 8 and 9.
I would add with the note for item number 9, changing the time to, I guess, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Works.
If you're willing to amend your motion.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. We'll move on to items number 10 and 11. I believe those are the same. Yep, those are the same events. The application for a special event permit by Capital Flight, Matt Hofeld, our contact person, for the 2025 Aviation and Autos, being held on August 9th at the Middleton Airport / Capital Flight hangar. And number 11, an application for an outdoor amplified sound permit, again by Matt Hofeld for Capital Flight, the same location, between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. for that same event.
Yeah, and this is just, I'll chime in, annual event, also sometimes referred to as cruisin', and event plans are very similar to previous years. They do, one thing to just note, they list on the application, they'd be working, directing traffic, and that will happen only on airport grounds to assist with parking. And as in past years, they don't feel the need for police to assist with the amount of traffic coming in and out during the event. It's usually a pretty steady flow.
And no major changes since previous years. It didn't look like it as far as I could see.
There are no changes this year at all. It's the same rinse and repeat.
Got it. Thank you. And Tyler, you guys are comfortable without having police presence there? It hasn't been an issue in the past, but I'm assuming that it isn't again this year, but I'll check in with you just to be sure.
Yep, appreciate it. No concerns here. I believe that's the same day as our Battle of the Badges event, so we will be nearby, hopefully beating the fire department in a rousing game of softball that morning, and otherwise occupied, but no concerns for this one.
All right, fantastic. Alrighty then, can I go, let's go ahead and if we have a motion to approve items number 10 and 11 on our agenda.
Sure, Lauren will make a motion for approval of items 10 and 11 as stated on the agenda for the Capital Flight hosted event.
Myers will second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 All right, motion carries. Moving on to items number 12 and 13. I believe those are the same.
Yes.
Are they the same? Yes, the same sip and stroll event for September 25th of 2025. This is an application for a special event permit by the Downtown Middleton Business Association. Andrew Shuck is their contact person for the fall sip and stroll, and an application for a temporary Class B retailer's license to sell beer and cider by the Downtown Middleton Business Association. Allie Klingsbiel, president, again for September 25th, 2025 for the sip and stroll using the approved plan DMBA 2.
And I'll just note this another annual event, actually biannual now. The last couple of years they've been doing the spring one with wine, the fall one with beer and cider. Last year was the first year with the fall beer and cider one. No other no changes really from last year, another kind of rinse and repeat. They are proposing just a conditional approval since that finalized list of stops, bartenders, and license, they usually don't have those until sometimes it can be just a few weeks out until that's confirmed. But yeah, that's really all I have for that one.
And they also don't know they have a date but no time listed either.
Oh.
At least not in the.
So typically, well, I guess event times are 5 to 8:30.
Okay, there I see it in the application now.
Yep.
Got it. And then cleanup starts at 8:30. Okay. Yep, that looks good. So this is just a conditional approval for the license, particularly item number 13, until we get the exact locations.
Yeah, typically, if that's okay with the committee, that's the way it's worked in the past, and that seems to work fairly well. Just so they can move forward with planning and just know that'll be finalized before we can issue any permits.
Okay, yeah, I'm comfortable with that. Tyler, no issues from the police side?
No, these have been pretty well managed. I think they've kind of got the system down. Obviously, people can't leave the establishment with open intox, but the individual businesses are responsible for that. And from what we've seen, they've been doing a decent job monitoring that. We also don't really have much concern of the conditional approval. These are all individuals that are licensed to sell. It's just a matter of identifying that person and verifying they have that license, which if the committee is fine with it, city staff are comfortable giving the blessing on that final list once we have it.
Excellent. All right, if there are no further questions, can I get a motion?
Myers, move approval of the permit in agenda item 12.
And 13?
And 13, yes.
Thorman will second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 All right, motion carries unanimously. Moving on to item number 14, which is the review location change for previously approved special event permit by the Middleton Good Neighbor Festival. Adam Warner, contact person for Good Neighbor Fest, August 22nd through the 24th at Middleton High School, which was previously this event was held at Fireman's Park. And I see Adam and Christy are on the call now.
Looks like Mark Opitz joined as well.
Oh, excellent.
I don't know if you want me to start, Laura. This is a long one.
I'm sure someone else can explain it better than myself.
The gist of it from my perspective here is, so I think the committee has run into some issues with the lease for Fireman's Park. Long story short, they need to explore a location change. Fireman's Park is not available to them right now. They've already gone to the school district and got school board approval. I'll let them chime up on that process. I know there was some outstanding approval for insurance that I believe that we've jumped through, but the gist of it is that the grounds will be moved to the south area of the high school. It's called the South Beach area. That's what school staff and students refer to it as. It's that large green space just north of Franklin Avenue, with the kind of carnival rides in the parking lot just north of that. So again, south of the building. So both of the grounds and the carnival rides would move to this new location. They also submitted a new parade route, which is largely the same, just actually a little bit shorter, which I think has some positives in terms of keeping Rolette Court open to residents as well as the Conservancy Bend condos. So we'll still orchestrate a soft shutdown with that, but I think the parade is actually slightly more manageable with this. They have requested not to fence in the entire area. You can see in the diagram in the packet, I did put some notes there where I would like them to have very clear signage of no alcohol behind this point. I want that marked before the sidewalk and at a reasonable interval, whether that's 10 to 15 feet, as long as that's very clearly marked on there, which we put on that diagram as well. A couple just longer term notes. I did make a note to the committee. Obviously, they're putting lots of things together in very short order here and are under the gun and a lot of stress, I am sure. So I appreciate their responsiveness as well. There's some other things we have to sort through. Among it, I just want to mention to the committee that I did try to plant the seed of potentially in future years if they are amenable to maybe looking at a full venue change. But I know the police department has expressed in the past that we would really appreciate the exploration of Firefighters Memorial Park on Pleasant View, which is a city park, and potentially using Airport Road for a parade. They're both much more well contained with natural barriers for safety, and the parade would be a lot easier for us to staff with a fraction of the officers needed, and also just safer in general, even without those officers. Some concern that was mentioned is a lot of people would have to drive to the event. My personal opinion on that, I think there's a lot better infrastructure for parking in that area. If we work with some local businesses, I think a lot of people are already driving to the festival as is. Obviously, some can walk. But I think that's something that warrants some exploration in future years, but I completely understand that I'm putting the cart before the horse, given that it is July 8th and this is happening next month. And one other thing I wanted to touch on that came up when I was talking with Attorney Fleming today. Another issue with this site plan is the multiple temp Bs that we have. So I think we were able to orchestrate that because it was in a park before, but being not in a park, there may be an issue, and we may have to have them scale that back to one temp B, but I'll let Attorney Fleming speak more to that piece that kind of developed today.
Yeah, so one of the things that allowed us to have more than one temp B license operator and still kind of have everyone go around in a defined but otherwise open area is that we were considering the licensed premises of the temp B operators to be basically the immediate service and storage areas, and then people going away from that were essentially allowed to mingle off premises because they were still within a city park, which does not require a license in order to have public consumption. Well, now we're no longer in a city park, and that's what it hasn't been a city park since the fire company took over, but that's what we had last year, a temporary lease where it was sort of temporarily designated as a city park. That's not what we have right now at this point. And so I'm not sure what the intent is in terms of the setup for the temp B license holders, but we had, when we considered the temp B licenses before, they were sort of contingent upon, the plan and getting that lease back in place, but now that's not happening. I think we need to see exactly where those temp B licenses are going to go and how we're defining the premises within this open area. But I mean, it doesn't necessarily impact this setup, and I don't think it needs to hold up this approval. But that is another component that we need to find out about and get kind of a final approval of the temp B licenses in the context of this new location.
Question, Matt, then would we just amend this that this is simply that this application for the temporary Class B retailer license permits be contingent on the conditions you're recommending?
Well,
And
right now,
they,
the temp B licenses aren't before us right now. It is just
oh,
the special event permit
oh, oh,
for the location and for Good Neighbor Festival. So, but
oh, I'm sorry.
we had those before, and they were kind of sitting in limbo, thinking that all we were going to need to do is just recreate what we did last year. But for all kinds of reasons we need not get into, we're not doing what we did last year.
Right. Yeah, no, I understand that.
And so,
Is there any kind of language that we could put into this?
well, I don't know. There's probably more than one different way to skin this cat, and so we will have one more meeting before the festival, and I suppose theoretically we could call a special meeting, but I think the temp those who are thinking of operating with a temp B license there, I think need to reach out to us, or we need to have a conversation with the Good Neighbor Festival organizers and those temp B operators to figure out how this is going to work, because taking it off Fireman's Park kind of changes the landscape with regard to those licenses.
So would we make the relocation simply contingent on that if there is no plan or follow-up presented to
I don't think there's any action we could take with regard to the temp B licenses. I just throw that out as.
Can I chime in for a moment? Yeah. Okay. So what we're talking about is Grapewater Wine Bar from downtown Middleton is sponsored by the Middleton Optimist Club. And so we have all of the approvals for Middleton Hockey to sell beer. We just want to have a tent where Grapewater can come down and sell wine. And that's really all you're discussing right now. We've already got the approvals for everything else. We just want to make sure that Grapewater is covered. And I really feel like everything you're discussing, they are. We're not exactly sure where they're going to be located in the map. That's still like in flux, but that's the question.
This is the first time hearing about any grape water. I don't see that enough.
Grape water is the Middleton Optimist Club pulled the Class B license for that, or applied for that. So they were down there last year. That's why we had the two Class B licenses. One was for beer, seltzers, and then one was for wine.
And last year we had both temp Bs approved with that kind of open plan in the park. But if I'm understanding Matt's concerns correctly, being that there's a venue change, if there are multiple temp Bs, there would have to be two different premises is defined versus this open campus concept. So there's a couple of options. I think either way, something's probably going to have to come back next month to address that. But I guess the way I see it, we could go with one temp B, and that could potentially be the solution given the short notice things this year, or they would have to be two literal separate premises fenced off and defined.
So we can't.
No, to be honest, we would put both of them under the same tent if that makes a difference to how we're licensed.
Our site actually shows it that way.
It does. And because of the way that the Good Neighbor Festival is structured, every trustee organization has propriety over how they run their organization.
Right.
Hockey was a little offended that we put an optimist group under their tent, but if you tell us that that's what you want us to do, we will absolutely do it.
Well, just putting the point is you got two different entities with two different licenses, and you can't have two different alcohol licenses operating overlapping with each other.
Okay.
You have to have defined areas of responsibility. So like I said, that's as I explained before, we were able to get around that in the park by shrinking the license area, so they're responsible only for the service area, and then Good Neighbor Fest is sort of responsible under the special event permit just for observation, but the legality of walking around in a public place with open intoxicants is covered by the fact that you're in a city park. But that now with this location change, that's not the case. So now we're not just talking about areas of responsibility, we're talking about areas of responsibility and the ability to be walking around with the alcohol. And that's why you need the licensed premises to be larger, but you can't have overlapping areas of responsibility.
Got it.
Understood.
So, I mean, basically, what you recommend we need to do, we'll do.
Well, I think broadly speaking, there are two options. Either one, you need to figure out a way to define the two different areas
Okay.
of responsibility of licensed premises, and there needs to be some, demarcation of those so you know where they begin and end, or you need to figure out a way that everyone can benefit by having simply one temporary license for the whole thing. And there are probably a lot of different ways you can do that, but you could have volunteers working with the licensed organization and with temporary licenses. You could donate proceeds to charities, which could be the other people working and things like that, and do that under one license. But one of those two universes, I think, is really, I mean, there may be other things, but that, broadly speaking, I think are the two kind of choices available to you. Just one license and one license premise, or separated one if you need different licenses for different people selling.
No, we will absolutely go for the one license, and we'll work out the divisions within our organization.
Okay. So then, yeah, we need to figure out of those that had applied before. I guess we should come back and just confirm that who the license operator is going to be.
Well, that would be Middleton Youth Hockey would be the.
Okay.
But in all honesty, we probably should check with them first. Just.
Yeah, well, Tyler, you can let me. You guys check with them, confirm what you want to do, and maybe reach out to Captain Lather, and then we can figure out from there what other approval, what actually needs to be done from there. And I can go back and look too and see exactly what we did just to make sure that it even does need to come back. It may not, but if we know that sometime within the next week or two, we should be able to quickly figure out what, if anything else, needs to be done approval wise.
Okay.
Sounds good. I'll wait for a follow-up on the committee, just with the final decision on what they're going to do with Tempe.
So then if we move forward, go ahead, Charles.
Don't go ahead, Kim.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say that I really hope that in future years we do have that parade on Airport Road, as the police representative discussed earlier. But I was also going to suggest that we move approval of the permit pending satisfaction of the city attorney and police captain.
Great. Do we have a second?
Thorman, a second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor of item number 14, the location changed for the special event permit by the Good Neighbor Festival, please indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item number 15, application for a special event permit by Madison Area Young Adults. Marianne Rahani, the contact person for Summer Extravaganza, July 12th, 2025 at Orchid Heights Park.
This is just a pretty much a summer picnic. The only reason why they are requiring a special event permit is because they're looking to have a food truck. And the way that the mobile food establishment ordinance works, they need a special event permit. So that's why that's there.
Yeah, Laura, I have some questions.
Sure.
This is in my district, in my park, and they noted that there would be approximately 75 attendees. That's a lot of people. There's only 2 small trash cans there at the shelter, like just your regular city trash cans, like the one sitting out in front of City Hall. And they also said they want to play kickball on the baseball diamond.
Yes. And I mean, all of that has been approved by Parks. I mean, they've already made the shelter reservation, and that has been approved. So it's, I mean, I think they're, from the map that was given, it looks like they're gonna be, I mean, I don't think everyone is gonna be in the shelter, but probably spread out doing, it looks like volleyball, kickball, and probably out on the green space in front of the shelter as well.
Okay. So Parks is okay with the plan. Parks has seen this plan, just given the number of people, and because I've gone down there when people have done stuff in the shelter, and then the garbage is like piled up all over around the garbage cans. Then it gets windy and it blows around the park. And it's that park borders the Conservancy. So I think it's just a matter of that.
I can definitely reiterate that to them. But I mean, even when they do reserve that shelter, I know that Parks has them sign off on stipulations and just the condition that the park needs to be left post event. So I think they feel okay with it.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Any other questions or concerns? All right. Can we have a motion?
Sarah Lorman will make a motion for the approval of the special event permit for Madison area youth adults. Item 15 as stated.
Myers will second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. Miscellaneous update on city staff representative.
So just wanted to give you all an update kind of on where we stand with that. There have been decisions between the chief of police and city administrator on who is the staff person for L&O. Obviously, it's been done by a police captain for a number of years. I've been doing it the last couple of years. We have some concerns for that as to how involved the police department is on the front end of approval of all of these things. Not that we feel we should be in an advisory role and be giving some insight and not necessarily so heavy-handed with the approval and contacting applicants, taking applications, sort of a thing, and examining the way a lot of other communities do their committees. I've found almost universally they're done under the umbrella of the clerk's office. I wasn't able to find any that are staffed by the police department. Some have a police department member staff as needed is kind of the more common approach. And quite honestly, some don't have committees that approve quite as much as the way we do it as far as all of our events and everything coming to a city committee. I think that's a larger issue in discussion. I don't have an issue with that. But the long and short of it is there is an intention here for the city clerk, Lori Burns, to take over kind of the role that I've been doing as the primary staff person, creating the Zooms, taking your agenda items and those sorts of things. We intend that to be kind of a soft handoff. I'm not going to leave her hanging, and I'm not going anywhere. I plan to attend these at minimum as needed, or at least the next couple, to make sure that things are going smoothly. She did inform me she intended to be here tonight, but I know she leaves for vacation tomorrow morning. So we'll kind of make sure and keep you all updated as to who that primary contact is But for the time being here, it can continue to be me, but just want to keep you in the loop or answer any questions or concerns that any of you have with that plan.
Sure. Keep me on track here, Matt. I don't want to violate any open discussion. Sounds like there's items here, are component of this that should go to a cow meeting. Just maybe, I think as Tyler points out, maybe there's some efficiencies with the way L&O workload is on city staff. I mean, are more things coming before L&O and city staff than need to?
Well, I mean, that's a matter of opinion, I guess. I mean, it's certainly much less of a burden than it once was.
Okay.
I don't know if I've told you guys that there was a period of about 4 or 5 years where we were having 2 L&O meetings a month.
Okay.
So relative to those days, we're doing great. Relative to maybe what some other communities do, some stuff may be more staff approved than committee approved, but
okay. I'm all in favor of efficiency, making it efficient for city staff in terms of workload and balance. So if we need to incorporate this with a future cow meeting, that would be good. Suppose our chair, if chair desires so, could send an email to Brian or something on that.
Duly noted. Charles, you have your hand up?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'd imagine that in the future, there's still going to be some items where we'll have a police representative present as a matter of necessity. And Tyler, it has been a real pleasure to work with you. So thank you for everything that you've done on some occasionally difficult matters. But if the police department is comfortable with this change and city staff and our city attorney are all comfortable with this change, I'm comfortable with this change.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And it came at our request as a police department. Again, not that we want to be in that advisory role. I regularly consult with the city clerk on the liquor licenses, but she's ultimately responsible for taking them in. And quite often I'm really an extra layer. I think this is more efficient for you to get information directly from her. And I want to give Laura a shout out. She is tremendously helpful on the event side of things, organizing things, contacting people, and taking some of that off of the police department, and also even organizing that part of these agendas. I'm immensely grateful to Laura to that. It's quite a time commitment. I have other duties as well that I certainly can be spending my time on. And we feel, just given the entities, that this is a far more efficient approach in the longer term.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for everything, Tyler. I know you said you're not going anywhere anytime soon, but certainly I very much appreciate all of your insight, and you've been really instrumental in the process, especially of understanding how things look from the police side and where the potential concerns are. So I thank you for your service and your diligence. It's very much appreciated.
Thank you.
All right, we have reached the end of our noticed agenda. Our meeting is adjourned.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Night.